Hi everybody, good evening. Welcome. We got about 11 minutes until we start class, so if you're getting Hi Anna, hi Chandrea. Welcome you guys. Okay, I'll mention this if there's props around you. If you have a yoga block, of course. If you don't, that's fine, but you can use a pillow. You can have a blanket rolled up. You can have a towel rolled up. And just have these things by your mat in the event that you may use them to support your body throughout your experience. And if anybody has any questions, you could type into the live chat here video, whether it's getting set up with music. If you want to add a playlist to your experience, you don't have to. You could, of course, just receive the video and the audio instruction from the YouTube channel here. But if you want a playlist, I can help you out with that. Or if you need help with anything else, or if you just have any questions about what you're feeling in your body or anything that you want to express, use that live chat on the YouTube video. Another tip, if you've gotten any buffering issues on your video, is to lower the quality of your video playback. There's a setting if you tap on the video, and then you can just lower the quality into the lowest. And it's not as important that the video is clear. You may glance at it, but for the most part, it's just receiving the instruction through the video. And you're going to want to make sure that your volume is high enough so that you don't have to look back, and that should help avoid some of the buffering that might happen based on internet connections and whatnot. Hi Simone. Yes, you should be hearing my voice right now on the video. You can let me know, or anybody can let me know to make sure that you guys are getting that. But there's also the option for music if you wanted to stream music along with your experience. You just have to have another device to either play the music from Spotify, or I live stream a playlist, which you can message me and we can get that set up for you. Great. Hi, Derek. Again, things that you can have with you for the practice. If you have a yoga block, of course. If not, no worries. Have a blanket that's rolled up maybe a couple times. A towel that's rolled up. A couple things that we might use to pad the body. Hey, Ari. And just have those next to your mat. Have something to drink next to your mat. And hopefully you're able to set yourself into a tranquil space. Ish. I understand if there's other people in the house, or if you have the kids and that are running around, that could be challenging, but I would encourage you to let it all be a part of your practice. And rather than building up this expectation, that it has to be quiet or there can't be any sounds that are going on around, let it all be a part of your practice, because once you go inside, you can exist there, you can stay there for the hour, and you want to notice what happens if the mind is reacting to what's going on outside of you. So it's all in play. It's all good. Hi, Leslie. Welcome back. Hi, Terry. Anybody do the flow class this morning? Show of hands. Hi, you guys. Hi, Erica. Hi, Jason. I'm on to you now, Jason. I know your username. I hope you guys both enjoy it. I think it's cool if you're, yes, if you're practicing solo, but if you're also home with somebody and you're both practicing, very cool. Here at our house, most of the time my wife is practicing in the bedroom. My sister-in-law is practicing above. And then we have a friend out back, and she's practicing once in a while as well. Ari, can you take a look on the Spotify, see if you can see the playlist for tonight? I just want to see if both of you are not seeing it. And then if so, Leslie, try to shut down your Spotify completely. And then open it back up. Hey, Reese. You're welcome, Jonathan. Hi. So, Chandrea, you're definitely going to want to get on that flow class. So something that Chandrea shared the other day, I know it's getting late. I'm going to be doing this practice for an hour at 7:30 to 8:30, but she did the Detox class and then went back and did a flow class afterwards. And she said it was amazing, her words, I think amazing, because her body felt so open. In yin, yes, we're restoring, but you're also getting deeper through the layers of fascia and the connective tissue. And so she felt open. And when you feel open, the breath is going to be more prevalent. You're going to feel the expansion of the breath. You're going to flow. And so that's kind of a cool way to do it if you want to try that out. Hey, Sasha. Great. So Leslie, Ari says he can see it. So try that little shutdown and then try to open Spotify again. Okay, you guys, I'm going to start the playlist on the Earbuds Music app. That is an application through the App Store. Again, if you don't have it right now, don't worry. Open up Spotify, and then you can start streaming the Detox playlist dated for today. If you're coming along on Earbuds, you're going to see that live stream pop up here. Excellent. Hi, Amy. And then get your volume set, everybody, so that you have the volume on your video high enough that you can hear me clearly. And then you can match, if you're streaming along the playlist, and you can match that in volume and so that it makes sense for you. And once you get all that squared away, go ahead and lie down onto your back, please. And we're going to start in Shavasana, lying on your back. Your legs can be long and your arms by your sides. And here's a very early example where if you want to tuck some things behind your knees, like blankets or pillows, you can kind of pad up your body. When you pad up the body goes, oh, I have something to let go into. So that touch or sensation on the outside, the surface of your skin, will trigger a deeper release of what's going on inside of you. And a lot of this, you may not even know that you're holding up. And so as you get into the poses, definitely encourage the stillness and the practice of stillness and throughout your meditation. And try to limit the voluntary fidgets and movements and coming out of the poses. And all the while, keep your breath nice and calm and natural. And so if the pose does something to your breath, let it happen. And don't try to control the breath in any way. But best you can to keep your breath natural and for the next hour. All right, I'm going to join you guys in Shavasana and hope everybody has a wonderful practice tonight. If you put a little weight in the back of the head, you can lift the shoulder blades and tuck them under to flatten the upper back, and then set everything back down. You may feel nice as you land here to close your eyes and take a few deeper breaths and feel your belly rise and fall. Give your fingers a little wiggle in your toes. And here's the deal: when you relax the hands in a natural, unforced way, the fingertips are going to gently curl back in. And that's the release of the energy and the strength in your arms. So your palms are facing up. But when you're really relaxed, those fingertips are going to curl back in all on their own. And there's a lot of things that you can be doing right now, but you're not doing those things. And so if they still manage to make their way through your mind, your thoughts travel, well, then you can allow them to do that. You realize what you're doing is just sitting in this pocket of space that is being held for you. Where it goes, really nobody knows, and all we can do is sit and see, but you're not waiting. It's the difference. When you charge yourself as an active participant, and it's like the feeling when you're standing and then tilting your face up towards the sun. And you close your eyes and you feel that there is a direct connection And from the heat of the sun as it's touching your face, and the feeling that you may get, and it's softening your face, and the light that you can trace even when your eyes are closed. And so I would encourage you to see any light and that you possibly can, and should any darkness present itself, and from your body into your mind, from your mind to your body. Now let's go ahead and set up a tree leg. Okay, on your back, bring the sole of your left foot into your right inner thigh. And so your left leg is bent, and let the outer thigh draw down heavy. And keep your back flat, and then you're just going to let your chin turn away from your left knee. So chin goes to the right. You can lift the head like a centimeter and then let it set back down. So left leg is bent, tree legs. And belly is soft, and you might feel something in your low back. That's fine. And then you've got your chin turned to the right. And begin to soften the shoulders and release the jaw. And you're welcome to close your eyes here. If this is one of your first detox classes, no worries, and when there's silence, let that take you deeper into your stillness. You no longer have to cling to time. As you engage this practice, and I'll be here to call you back gently, and so that you can really release your attachments to time. If you've ever heard the saying, you learn something new every day. Well, if you're open to it, and through your practice and your awareness, you actually have the opportunity to learn a lot of new things every day. And underlining all of this in these moments and that we spend on our matter, that we share with our breath and our minds, and we're developing a more patient interpretation of life. And a little bit more of letting things go, letting things in, and letting things be. can nice and slowly start to bring your chin back to center. You may not have realized at how far your neck could go into a twist and feel a neutral cervical spine. And then let's slowly start to bring your left knee back up. And keep the eyes closed, be gentle with yourself, and you're going to strike some intersections with vulnerability, and through change, let your left leg go long. You should almost feel like the weight on your right side of your body is significantly more. Like you're lying flat, but it feels like you're favoring in weight into the right side or the right half of your body. And people think we always need the proof or the success and to show ourselves that we're doing something. And it's just not the case. And you're doing plenty by being here. You're actually doing more for yourself and humanity by practicing stillness. And let's take one deep breath to let out a sigh. You can open your mouth and release all the air from your lungs. And we'll set up the other side. So bring your right foot to your inner left thigh. And tree legs on the right side. And you might lift your head just a centimeter and then let your chin roll down to the left. It's not meant to really induce a ton of feelings right now, but more of a subtle way of beginning to open up some of the space and through the muscles that we use to breathe. Every time you take air into your body, every time you let air out of your body, we're going to open those muscles tonight. Feel how far you came and through the twist in your neck on this side, and very gently, very slowly. And you can go ahead and roll onto the back of your head. And that heavier feeling is going to switch now into your left side. Same pace, start to bring your right knee back up. And then go ahead and release your right leg long. And so really in every practice, if you were to observe the very simple difference in between lightness and heaviness, it's going to pretty consistently toggle from one side of your body to the other, whether you're doing this style or even in a flow, because you're getting an opening. And from there you're receiving, getting feeling. And from feeling you're translating that through your nervous system to your mind. And so mind messaging. And that's where it can get a little trippy in a practice like this, because we have a lot more space for the mind messages and to go back and forth and to be present with them. And just let your mind go wherever it wants to go. And feel the heaviness in your body. Let's bring the soles of your feet together. And then both knees will fall out. And so we're coming into a supine Baddha Konasana, reclining butterfly pose. And then we're going to do something different with our arms. So take your arms and kind of like halfway over your head, so you cactus the arms. Bend at the elbows. And let the weight of your forearms and the back of your wrists come down towards the ground. If the chest is really tight, and you'll feel that, and you just lower the elbows a little bit. But you want to feel a gentle separation, especially if you did the flow class earlier today. I'll only say the word plank, and you'll know what I mean. And if you're doing both classes, you guys, the evening practice will always complement what we did in the morning practice. That's the beauty of offering this ritual consistently, is that we can create a through line. And from the very first day we started offering these practices until where we are now, and wherever they may go from here. And remember, don't worry about changing the breath in any way. You want to keep it natural. And so it's unforced and without control.
first, let's feel the softness in the chest, and you can start to bring your arms back down by your sides. And these are all really gentle and slow moving transitions. And without gripping through your hips, take your hands to your outer thighs. And then use your hands, a little draw through your belly, and slowly start to bring your knees back up. As you set your feet flat, and take your left arm over your head, and then go ahead and roll onto your left-hand side. And you can pause there for a moment. In the fetal position, make yourself comfortable. It might feel good and natural to take a deeper breath here, let out a little sigh. And keep your head heavy. Use your right hand and start to pull yourself around into a tabletop. And head stays heavy. Separate your knees as wide as your mat. And let your belly drop and your tailbone lift. Take your left hand forward and slide your right arm across your mat and come down onto your right shoulder. And use your left hand to support your neck. But if you don't need it, you can rest the side of your head, and you can go ahead and tuck your left hand behind your back. If that's too much, just keep your left hand out in front. And let the weight come down into your right shoulder and creating compression. There's this pressure point I've mentioned before where your chest muscles meet the front of your shoulder muscles and meet the muscles running down the sides of your neck. And so we're going to compress into that. If you need any extra padding anywhere, set that padding. And so that you can resist those voluntary fidgets and begin to settle into the stillness. If you've been carrying any weights down in your lower back and it's been tight, your low back should appreciate this position. And let your belly release. Through compression and release, this is how we detoxify our body through flow, through energy and prana, purest source, that which sits inside of us. And so let your mind follow along. It's no longer the leader of the show while you're here on your mat. Your breath is calm. About 1 more minute on this side. If you got your left arm tucked behind your back, you let the hand slide down. And then everybody bring your left hand right beside your face. You add more weight to that left hand and slowly start to hover your head. And even slower, start to slide your right arm back out. And you will stay low, make your way down onto your forearms and release to your belly. And so your legs go out straight behind you. And then you might just have to clear some things in from the right side of your mat. And you're going to take your right arm out into a T. And take your left hand, rest your forehead on the back of your left hand. And soften the forehead on the hand. And feel the muscles in your face relax and release. And now slide your right hand out a little bit further. And so you're going to let the inside of your right arm touch the ground. And turn to your right cheek, use your left hand on the mat, and start to twist your hips open. And so you can bend your knees. And you can even step your left foot behind your right leg. And then let your head be heavy down onto the ground. And again, you can keep your left hand on the mat. Okay, or you can take your left arm and bring it behind your low back again. And just make sure you're not holding on in strength. You find the shape, don't worry about what it looks like. And so that you can settle into this heaviness. And now we're opening that point and that we were compressing earlier on the right side of your chest and the front of your shoulder and in the side of your neck. And begin to relax here in the stillness. And keep the head heavy, relax the jaw. Let's take about 10 more natural breath cycles in this shape. We're going to make our way out. Slow, slow, slow. Start to slide your left hand down if it's hooked. And then bring it back around. And let your left knee come back and towards the floor. And then all we're going to do is roll onto our belly. And feel that release in your right side body, in your chest and your shoulder. And you can just let your right arm come down by your side. A left hand wherever it feels most comfortable, and then turn your right cheek down onto the mat. And without moving anything else, open up your right palm as wide as you can. And then curl your fingers into your palm, make a fist with your right hand, and squeeze that fist firmly for the next 30 seconds. And go ahead and release that right fist. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And keep your head heavy as you make your way back up into a tabletop, all fours. You stay inward. You can even still have your eyes closed. And separate your knees as wide as your mat. And then slide your right hand forward to the top of your mat. And take your left arm across your mat, come down onto your left shoulder. And feel the space until let your belly drop and your tailbone lifts. And reset your head so you feel that point of balance. And with gravity, surrender, and then if you need your right hand to support the neck, keep it there. If not, you're welcome to take your right hand behind your back. this practice, this side does not have to equal the previous side, so feeling your way in, if you need the support, keep your right hand down even if you brought it behind your back on the other side. And stay with this, you guys, about 1 more minute. And remember, go slow and be gentle with yourself. If your right arm is hooked, and slide the hand down and bring it back around. Everybody, right hand beside your face. You can begin to add more weight into your right hand. Hover your head and then to slowly slide your left arm out. You stay low. We're going to come down onto our forearms. And then you can release the legs out behind you, and so that your hips and your belly come flat to the mat. And once you get your belly set, and take your left arm now out into a T. Your right hand is in front. Let your forehead rest on the back of your hand. And let the connection between your forehead and the back of your hand release every muscle in your face. It'd be normal if you were even drooling a little bit here. And jaw so relaxed. And feel the heaviness in your head. Heaviness is our friend. When it comes to this practice, because we're not engaging our muscles, and so we ought to feel heavy, and working deeper and deeper around our joints. If you need to clear anything on your left side, and so your left arm is long, and you're going to let the inside of the arm get heavy, and then start to roll onto your left hip. You can even step your right foot behind your left leg as you're getting into the opening across your chest. Use your right hand on the mat. Adjust your hips as you need to. As long as you're feeling in the left side of your chest, don't worry about what it looks like. And you have the option to keep your right hand down or hook in your right arm behind your back. Let go of any voluntary fidgets and begin to rest in the stillness. And this pose can reveal so much about what you've been carrying in your shoulders and your neck, what's been tightening your breaths and making life feel more acute. Or those feelings of fight or flight and the sympathetic response of your nervous system. And so let this be the great counter, even though you might be feeling it quite a bit. And stay with it. Stay patient, everybody, if you have your right arm hooked behind. And start to slide your right arm out. And bring your hand back down towards the floor. And then you're going to stay low and as gently as you can and start to roll back onto your belly. And just let that left arm slide down by your side. And then once you get your arms set, then you can turn down onto your left cheek and feel the release on your left side. And feel the space in your back, feel the space in your chest. And take a couple slow breaths here. And take it nice and slow, everybody. Bring your left hand and your right hand under your shoulders, chin to the mat. And keep your head heavy, make your way up to all fours. And then let's feel all of that space if you just simply sit on your shins. And let your hands rest on your thighs. And head above your heart, soften your belly, and it's okay if you even slouch a little bit here. You don't have to hold yourself up super straight. And feel where your body's at tonight and see where your mind has traveled thus far. Whatever objects you have with you, and bring your eyes back into the space. So if you have a yoga block, then take the yoga block in front of you on the lowest height. And if you don't, a yoga block's about 4 inches high on the lowest height. And take a blanket, and you roll it up like a box, about 4 inches, maybe 6 inches tall. And the firmer, the better. And then that object is going to be placed underneath your belly. And so you just crawl your elbows out over the object and then start to crawl your knees back. And so you want that object above your pubic bone, but below in the front of your rib cage. So really right across your belly. And so you're giving yourself a way to really absorb and to release a lot of this tension that we're carrying in your belly. And if it's already fairly intense, and just stay on your forearms. If you want to go a little bit further, you can start to spread the elbows out and then let your forehead come down onto the back of your hands. And release and relax in your shoulder girdle. If your belly is firming up back against that object little by little, you can just let your belly and the inner workings of your belly release. And you're going to kind of take the shape of that object into your body the more that you let go. Notice if your legs are gripping up, and release the muscles in your bum. And let your knees be heavy and your thighs and the tops of your feet into the mat. And this will directly do a lot to your mind. And so, if anything, recognize the relationship of your body to your mind. Nice and easy, you can start to hover your head off your hands. You can work your elbows back in underneath your shoulders. And feel into your elbows, ground down through your knees, and start to lift your belly off of whatever the object was beneath you. And as your hips come up, make your way to your hands. And take a deep breath, perhaps a little sigh. You remove that object and block or the blankets and whatever it was, and go ahead and make your way onto your back, and so you're lying down flat. And then you can feel all the space that we've created this evening. And as you lie down, let your legs go straight. Arms by your sides with your palms facing up. And once you lie down, feel the weight in your shoulders, the softness, and the relaxation in the palms of your hands. And throughout the expression of your entire body, it may feel really good and to take a few breaths and to let out a few sighs. And you've decompressed. And you've released in some of the known toxicity and perhaps a lot of the things that you didn't even realize until you got into some of these positions and that you were holding on to. And it's okay if those tears are flowing. The emotion is part of the journey. And the more sensitive you become, and the better, at least in the opinion of the practice, but also that can interpret into our lives. It's beautiful to be sensitive and to be in touch. And I always like to share that you may feel the ripple effect
of a detox and through the rest of your evening, even into your sleep, and the way that you sleep, and the things that may appear in your sleep, and all the way into the next morning and throughout the day. And so I hope through the opportunity to be still and to sit in these shapes, and you have found a little bit of peace tonight. And a little bit of calm that you can take with you or share with those around you. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate and to reach out. If you want to share anything at all about your practice, please reach out. And I thank you all for being here tonight, and I hope to see you in the morning for our daily practice at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And take your rest here. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, everybody. Namaste.